Now the sea lions we have here at Blackpool Zoo are Californian sea lions, and as the name suggests, they're found along the western coast of the United States, and as far up north as Canada, and as far down south as Mexico. Now we have 7 in our group in total. We have 5 females and 2 males, and today we're going to be using 2 of our most experienced females, and we're also going to be using our youngest male. So that's what Alex is just going to go and let out now. His name is Elmo, and he's only 2 years of age. He's just starting to be used in our displays. So he does have a little bit of a problem with his concentration, so if he does at any point lose his concentration throughout the display, bear with him and he'll do his best. So if you want to give all of our sea lions a nice big wave, they'll give you a wave back. Aww. There we go. And I'll introduce you to the sea lions as you're looking at them. So on the left hand side, as you're looking at it, we have Anya, and Anya is 5 years of age. Next to her there we have her sister Gina, and Gina is 8 years of age. And then down at the end we have little Elmo, who, as I said, is just 2 years of age. Now at some point during the display today, you may see our sea lions also giving themselves a little bit of a cheeky round of applause. Now if you see them doing this, they want you to give them a nice big clap, so let's give them a nice big round of applause, and that lets them know that they're doing well for us. Now Gina and Anya, the 2 girls, are actually sisters, and they do love each other very, very much. And they are very, very affectionate towards each other. They like to give each other lots of kisses, but they can sometimes get a little bit embarrassed when all these people are watching. But never mind, girls, it's nothing to worry about whatsoever. Now, as you said, they do like a round of applause, so the more you give them, the more they'll enjoy themselves. Now, as you said, these are sea lions, but they are very, very closely related to our seals. And one thing that our sea lions really hate is to be confused with seals. You don't like that at all, do you? No, you don't. There we go. So there are some ways to tell apart seals and sea lions. Now if we have a look at our sea lions here, the first way we can tell them apart is if you have a look at the side of their head, you'll see that they have 2 small ear flaps on the side of their head. Now this is a piece of skin just similar to our own earlobe, and basically it channels sound down into their ears. Now if they were seals, they wouldn't have one of these. There would just be a small hole on the side of their heads leading to an internal ear, and that is one of the major differences. The next major difference is if we have a look at our sea lions' flippers, if we can ask them to put their flippers out for us. There we go, and you'll see that their flippers are very, very large indeed, especially if you compare them to the size of Gary's hand. Now you can see that they're much, much larger than Gary's hand. Now if they were seals, their front flippers would only be around the same size as Gary's hand, because seals use the back half of their body much more than the front half, whereas our sea lions here, they use their big front flippers to power themselves on land and also in the waters as well. They are capable of swimming at speeds up to around about 35 miles an hour. Now if you watch Gina here and you watch the way she walks, you'll see that she walks in an upright position, using those big powerful front flippers to propel herself along, and they're very, very agile on land and get around very, very well. And that is in stark comparison to a seal. So how would you move if you were a seal, Gina?
That's right.
That's right. So as you can see, if she was a seal, she would shuffle herself along on her belly using her back flippers, as that's where all the power is in a seal's body. So let's give her a nice big round of applause. Well done, Gina.
Come on. What about Elmo?
Now, all of this is made possible through training, and the main reason that we train our sea lions is actually to keep a close eye on their health and their well-being. Now, because they are trained, it allows us to do a health check with them every single day to make sure that they are in the best of health and the best of condition. Now, what we do every single day is we start by asking the sea lions to open their mouths for us. Now, as you can see, Elmo will open his mouth voluntarily, and he'll let Gary have a look inside. Now, if you have a look, you'll see that their teeth actually look kind of brown or black in colour. Now, that isn't anything to worry about. They actually are born with white teeth, but they get this brown-black colour as the oils in the fish that they eat stain their teeth over time. But it isn't anything to worry about. It just means that Gary has to cope with a little bit of fishy breath from our sea lions. The next thing we can do as part of our health check is, again, we can ask the sea lions to put out their flippers. But this time, Gary's going to actually be able to hold them and move them around a little bit. Now, again, this is vitally important, because if you ever need to vaccinate our sea lions or to take any blood samples from them, then we do this in their flippers, where the blood vessels are close to the surface. So it's really important they're used to us touching them with no stress, and it's not going to upset them in any way. If I could just ask that any children down at the front can remain seated for us, because it is very off-putting for our sea lions when they're up at the glass. So if we can just ask that you do remain seated for us, that would be very, very helpful. Now again, as part of our health check, as well as asking them to show us their flippers, we can actually get one of the sea lions to come down completely and lie down flat on the floor for us. Now this way we can check over her whole body, we can check her teeth, and we can check her skin, check there's no lumps, bumps, scrapes or scratches, and make sure that she is in the best of condition. We can also ask her to roll over as well onto her back and check her underside, and this way we can ultrasound her if we ever thought she may be pregnant, or we can also listen to their heart and their lungs to make sure that everything is in good condition. Everything sound alright there, Gary? That's absolutely fantastic. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Okay, so the next thing we can do after our health check routine is that we can actually show you a little bit about our training. Now the training method that we use here at Blackpool Zoo is called positive reinforcement, and it all relies on trust between our trainers and our sea lions. We ask them to perform a behaviour. If they do it correctly, they are greeted with a blast of a whistle that you can see in Gary's mouth there. That lets them know that they've done it right, and then they'll be rewarded with a piece of fish. Now every new behaviour we do is begun with a target stick, which you can see in Gary's hand here. Now this is just a broom handle with some coloured tape on the end. Now the colour isn't important as they don't actually see in colour, they see in shade. So they just need to be able to see the difference in the colours. Now as you can see, they'll touch their nose or whatever body part that we may ask to this target, and that allows us to actually move the sea lions around and get them to do all of these various different behaviours. So as you see, Anya will follow this target stick wherever it goes. Now I did say at the start of the display, Elmo is still young and he loses his concentration every now and again, so we'll just wait for him to get back up onto his stand and hopefully he'll sit nice and still for us. There we go, well done Elmo. Now it's obviously because we've got the target stick out and you can get a little bit distracted sometimes, but as I said, you can see that Anya will follow it wherever it goes around the enclosure, and that allows us to move her around without having to net her or restrain her in any way. She'll follow that target stick voluntarily, and as you can see, she actually has quite a lot of fun doing it as well. And this is important because it's safer for our trainers and it's also much better for our sea lions' welfare as well. Let's give her a nice big round of applause for a demonstration now. Well done.
Look at that little one, fantastic.
Now at the start of the display you saw our two sea lions give each other a bit of a kiss, and we're going to let you into a bit of a secret into how that's achieved. So we begin with a target stick by asking one of our girls to touch her nose to it. Now after a little while we can put it in between both of the girls and we get them both to touch their noses at the same time. Now after a little while we can put in a hand signal to accompany this, and they get more and more experienced till in the end we can take away the target stick altogether and just use the hand signal, and they give each other a nice big kiss. There we go, let's give her a nice big round of applause. Well done girls.
Brilliant, that's fucking amazing.
Now our training also allows us to demonstrate some of the natural abilities that sea lions have. Now they are hunters out in the wild and they hunt a wide variety of different fish and also things like squid as well. And they do this using their eyes, which are forward facing, which means they can judge distance and depth. And they also use their long, powerful and agile necks as well in order to shoot out their heads and catch their fish. And we can demonstrate this using the hoops that you can see in Gary's hand here. Now what he's going to do is going to throw these towards one of our sea lions and they're going to try and catch them over their heads. So let's give her lots of encouragement. She's able to do this. There we go, so Gina's going to catch them. Let's give her a big cheer. Here comes number 2 for Anya, number 3 for Gina, and let's give her a big cheer for the spinning one. Oh, lucky, she dropped it. She's going to go and get it. Well done, Anya. Now let's give her a nice big cheer, everybody. A nice big round of applause. Well done, girls.
Look at that.
But as I said, our sea lions are very intelligent and we do try to challenge them as much as possible. So we tried to make it a bit more difficult, and we're going to take Anya down and she's going to do the same thing again, but this time she's going to be having to do it in the water. So she has to balance, she has to swim as well as catching these hoops. So again, let's give her a nice big cheer. Here comes hoop number 1. Let's give her a big cheer. Number 2, number 3, and a big cheer for the last hoop. Number 4. Well done, Anya, absolutely fantastic. All the way back up onto land. Well done. Let's give her a nice big round of applause there, folks. Well done, Anya. Now, as well as using their eyes and using their necks, they also use their whiskers, you can see, around their noses. And these are some of the most sensitive of any animal in the animal kingdom. Now, what they can do is when the sea lions dive down to really deep depths of 300 metres or so, when there isn't much light, they can use their whiskers instead of their eyes to be able to find their food. Our little Elmo's just wanting a little play with his hoop there. As I said, he can get a little bit losing focus at times. Yeah. He's just trying to join in on the display, but he's doing really well for us this afternoon. He's sitting nice and still up on his stand. Now we can demonstrate the whiskers by using this ball here. So if you have a look at Anya, her whiskers are up on their end and they're touching the ball at all of its different points. And that allows her to make any little adjustments to her body to keep that ball balanced up on her nose and also be able to pass it back. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Well done, Anya. Now, although she makes it look very, very easy, it can actually take a year to learn each of these new behaviours. And that's with around about 3 to 4 training sessions every single day, either through our public displays or through the training sessions in their own dens round at the back. So despite the fact that they are very intelligent, it does actually take quite a lot of work. Now, as you can see, Gina's able to keep that ball really well controlled. She's a little bit more experienced. She's also can pass it back to her sister as well, and all the way back down to the line to Gary. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Well done, girls. Now, as well as this, we can introduce a little bit of sibling rivalry into the display now. We can throw 2 balls down into the pool. Now, what we're going to do is the girls are going to have a little bit of a race, and they're going to see who can bring the ball back the fastest. So they've got it up on their nose, all the way back up onto land, all the way back up onto their stands without dropping it. Anya's won, but Gina's coming as well. She hasn't dropped that ball, so let's give her lots of encouragement as well. Let's give both of our sea lions a nice big round of applause. Well done, girls. Absolutely fantastic. Now, you saw earlier on in our display that our sea lions do have a real talent for impressions. And what they're going to do now is an impression of one of their main predators out in the wild. And this is where we want you to join in as much as you can. We need you to keep a close eye on our sea lion, and we need you to watch and see if you know what animal she's impersonating. I'll give you a clue. You need to watch her front flipper, and if you know what animal she's doing, we need you to shout it as loud as you possibly can. So here goes Anya into the water. Keep a close eye on her, and let's hear you shout as loud as you possibly can. Keep a close eye on her flipper. Here she goes. So after 3, we want everyone to shout as loud as you possibly can if you know what animal she's impersonating. So 1, 2, 3.
Shark! Shark!
Come on, everybody, we can do much, much better than that. Everyone shout as loud as you possibly can. So we'll have one more go after 3. 1, 2, 3.
Shark!
That's better. So their main predators are great white sharks, tiger sharks and bull sharks. They're also hunted by killer whales as well. But what would you do if you were being hunted by a shark, Anya? That's right, you could get out of the water where the sharks can't follow, back up onto land, and you would hide from the sharks.
Oh, brilliant.
Let's give her a nice big round of applause for her impression now. Well done, Anya. Now, we are approaching the end of our display this afternoon, and we do want to just leave you one very, very important message. And that is that we do have lots of litter left sometimes after our displays. And all we want to ask is that you do take your litter home with you afterwards. Now, it's very, very dangerous for items such as plastic bottles or plastic crisp packets to get into our pool, either through being picked up by seagulls and dropped or by the wind. So if you keep your close eye on Gina here, she's going to show us what she wants you to do with your rubbish. If she was to find a plastic bottle, she's going to pick it up, she's going to make sure she takes it with her, she's going to find the nearest bin that she can. Oh, she got back up onto her stand. Gina, you're not giving us a good impression. What would you do with your rubbish? That's right, you put it in the bin. Fantastic. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Well done, Gina.
Oh.
So that does bring us to the end of our display this afternoon. I do hope you've enjoyed watching all of our sea lions. I think they've done a wonderful job for us. Do you think they've done well enough to they deserve a hug off our trainer?
Absolutely, yeah.
Come on, have they done well enough?
Yes!
Absolutely fantastic. Now you can see during the displays that our trainers and our sea lions do have a very, very close working relationship. They spend an awful lot of time together developing these behaviours, and they are very, very affectionate towards each other. Now our sea lions do like a nice cuddle with our trainers. Now Anya, being a little bit younger, she normally likes to give a big cuddle and a little bit of a kiss as well. There we go. Well done, Anya. Now let's give all of our sea lions and Gary one big final round of applause. Well done to everybody. Fantastic display this afternoon. We do hope you've enjoyed watching our sea lion display, and all that's left to say is from myself, Tim, from Gary, and from all of our sea lions, we hope you've enjoyed yourselves. We hope to see you again soon, and enjoy the rest of your day here at Blackpool Zoo. Thank you.
See you, Gary.
Bye.
See you, dude.